If you listen to people talking about the UK housing market, you will hear two very different stories. Some say house prices are about to boom. Others say a crash is coming. So who is right? Tonight, instead of opinions, we are looking at the numbers. Real data from the Office for National Statistics. We will talk about house prices, rents, first-time buyers, and the big regional divide between London and the rest of the country. By the end of this, you will have the facts, not the noise. Let me start with the big headline everyone sees. We hear that house prices are going up. We see the average UK house price is now around $271,000, up 2.5% over the year. On the surface, that sounds like good news for homeowners. But numbers can be misleading if we do not look deeper. Prices going up does not always mean people are getting richer. So the question is this: are house prices really rising in a way that makes people better off, or is something else happening behind the scenes?
This is where inflation really matters. House prices did rise by about 2.5%, but inflation is higher than that, around 3.6%. That means prices in general are rising faster than house values. Think of a house like money stored in bricks. If everything else is getting more expensive faster than your house price is rising, then in real terms, you are actually losing value. Your house may be worth more on paper, but it can buy you less than before. This is sometimes called a silent crash. Prices do not fall sharply, so it does not feel dramatic. Homeowners see a small rise and feel fine. But adjusted for inflation, housing wealth has gone backwards. That is the real story behind the headline numbers.
Now let us talk about first-time buyers. Many young people watching this will be thinking, this all sounds very clever, but buying a home still feels impossible. We hear that wages are finally rising faster than inflation and mortgage rates have come down a bit. On paper, that should help people get on the ladder. So here is the question: if affordability is improving on paper, why are so many first-time buyers still struggling so much in real life?
The biggest problem is not the monthly mortgage payment. For many people, mortgage payments are similar to rent or even lower. The real barrier is the deposit. A 10% deposit on the average UK home is about £27,000. For most people early in their career, that is an enormous amount of money. Saving that can take 6 or 7 years, even if nothing goes wrong, and prices do not move higher. That is why nearly 40% of first-time buyers now rely on help from family. Without that support, many simply cannot get started. So affordability has improved a bit, yes. But until the deposit problem is solved, buying a first home will still feel out of reach for a lot of people.
Let us shift focus now to renters. Rents are rising across the country, but not at the same speed everywhere. New rules are also coming in that will change how landlords can increase rent. People are asking whether these changes will really help tenants or whether they will just create more problems. So the question is, are renters about to see real relief, or is the pressure simply moving into a different form?
Rents are still rising, but the pace is slowing slightly at a national level. The bigger story is regional difference. Some areas are seeing sharp rent increases, while others are much calmer. The new rules aim to stop unfair rent hikes and give tenants the right to challenge increases that are above market levels. In theory, this is a good thing. But the big question is how well it will work in practice. Will tenants know their rights? Will the system move fast enough? If disputes take months, that creates stress for everyone. Even so, just knowing that rent increases can be challenged may already give tenants more power in conversations with landlords. That alone could make a difference.
Finally, let us talk about geography. For decades, the story was simple. London led the housing market and the rest of the country followed. But the latest data shows something unusual. London prices are falling in real terms, while parts of the north are growing faster. So the final question is, Are we seeing a housing collapse in the south or a long overdue rebalancing across the UK?
It looks much more like a rebalancing than a collapse. London became extremely expensive, both for buyers and investors. At some point, the numbers just stopped making sense. At the same time, northern regions offer better value, better rental yields, and more space. Remote working has also made it easier for people to live further away from London. So money, people, and opportunity are spreading out. The north is growing faster, while London cools down. That is a big shift, and something many of us have never seen before. It does not mean London is finished. It means the rest of the country is finally catching up.
So what does all this tell us? House prices are not booming, and they are not crashing either. In real terms, they are quietly adjusting. First-time buyers are closer than before, but the deposit hurdle remains huge. Renters may get more protection, but only if the system works properly. And for the first time in decades, growth is no longer just a London story. The key lesson is this: national averages only tell part of the story. What really matters is your local area, your income, and your situation. The old rule was simple: London leads, everyone else follows. The data now suggests that rule may finally be changing. Please don't forget to subscribe News TV and do like and share to others, which will motivate us to create more video like this. Thanks for watching.